good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming out and hearing this really extraordinary new announcement that we're having here today. We're very proud of it, and I think it could only happen in our city. And it can only happen in the council district of Bill Hollander, who is an outstanding councilman for us here and a great civic leader. So, Councilman Hollander, please share a few words with us.
Well, I don't want to give away the announcement, but I do want to say how much I appreciate the American Printing House for the Blind in my district. We're going to be talking about mapping today, and I am so fortunate to live in a neighborhood where my drugstore is mapped and my library is mapped, and the blind and visually impaired community in Clifton adds so much to the rich nature of the community. So congratulations for your work. I love the partnership between the city and APH, and I love everything that you do. And the future really does belong to everyone.
Good job. Thank you, Councilman. Now, the goal that we all share in this city is for everybody's human potential to flourish. And of course, that's how we define compassion in our city. And that value applies to every Louisvillian in every neighborhood and in every circumstance. And one of the obvious keys to making that happen is accessibility. And people need equal access to everything from education, employment, and health care to the tools that enable them to navigate our streets. So this is obviously a compassionate value, but it's also a value around innovation. In our city government, to the best of my knowledge, was the first government in the world to create the Office for Civic Innovation, where we would be looking at breakthrough opportunities like this and then enable those opportunities through the work that we do with our government, with our citizens. So the concept of civic innovation is kind of our third pillar of how we look at the job. The job is the daily work of run the city, the continuous improvement of the way we run the city, and then breakthrough or innovation. So we're here today to talk about innovation. And for people who are blind and visually impaired, that's a crucial issue. That's why we work with our outstanding partners at the American Printing House for the Blind and other community partners in the development of the Nearby Explorer mobile app. Nearby Explorer is a full-featured GPS app. Instead of just providing directions, it describes the environment in ways comparable to reading signage or observing the characteristics of the road. And it's been a huge hit. Some of the user reviews include words like outstanding, and this has been a godsend to me. We partnered to pilot the Bluetooth beacon and OpenStreetMaps technology at the Louis Lab and CNET Smart Apartment. So we combine our innovation and improvement work at Louis Lab on Main Street, and then CNET has their smart apartment above us. We worked with the printing house to help them secure a $250,000 grant from the James Graham Brown Foundation to deploy the tech in public spaces. So thank you to James Graham Brown Foundation. The list of sites continues to grow. To date, there are more than a dozen sites here in our city of Louisville, including the Louisville Airport and the Kentucky Center. And the airport and the Kentucky Center are now the first airport and the first arts center in the country to be fully accessible to those who are blind or visually impaired. That list of sites the Nearby Explorer app can access is growing, with current sites added in California, Oregon, and Texas. So what we hope to see, obviously, is full deployment of this app all around the world. And I'm proud to announce that here today that Metro Hall officially joins that list. This beautiful building belongs to everybody. It's the living room for the community, and everyone should be able to experience it. I'm proud that we could partner with the American Printing House for the Blind and the James Graham Brown Foundation to install beacons that connect with the app in and around Metro Hall. I can tell you that I'm really proud of the work of our Office for Civic Innovation has done to expand this program. This is one of many programs that has set the pace for innovation in government around the country. So this is another example of how we're continuing to embrace innovation and technology to make the lives of our citizens better, whether that's through investing in crime-fighting technology, like we've done with ShotSpotter, which helps our police officers keep our streets safer, our Air Louisville program that's earned national recognition by helping gather data from citizen scientists to help asthma sufferers breathe easier, or our wireless smoke detectors that are helping to prevent fires. So technology is a tool for cities, and it can also be a vehicle for compassion and innovation. That's what we're all about here at Metro Government, and the Nearby Explorer app we've helped to develop and expand with our community partners is a great example of those values in action. So let's now turn to our community partner on this. I'd like to introduce Craig Meter. He's the president of the American Printing House for the Blind. Craig?
I want to say thank you and good afternoon. We're quite proud of the work we do at the American Printing House for the Blind. And it was about 2 years ago that I gathered with a bunch of our staff, many of which are behind us here. And our question was, what could we do for Louisville? How is it that we could have an impact? And someone mentioned the mayor's Compassionate City project. And I said, great, we'll piggyback off that. And let's make Louisville not only the most compassionate city, but the most accessible city in the United States. And we're going to do that in 5 years. So I didn't know how we were going to do that, but Larry and Keith and their team had an idea, and they had already begun the work with, as the mayor mentioned, with the smart apartment down here. And we were able to expand that, and with the help of many partners, able to move this throughout Louisville Metro. And what we're finding out is that not only is this good for Louisville Metro, but other cities are starting to step up and take notice. And we're finding, and we're hoping very soon that other cities will be saying, I want something exactly like that, or I want something very similar to what Louisville Metro is doing for our city, for our citizens, and for the people who are blind and visually impaired that live within their community. So we're excited to be a partner with the city. We think it's fantastic. We look forward to what lies ahead for all of us, and I want to introduce the director of this project, and that's Larry Sku Khan, our director of technology product research, and he's going to talk a little more about the app.
Thank you. Thank you, Craig, and good afternoon. Nearby Explorer has been a passion of ours because it is so important to orientation and mobility to know where you are when you travel as a blind person. We've worked hard on this app for several years in the outdoor spaces so that it would announce things like intersection configurations and the names of buildings that you pass. But it didn't work indoors until now. So as the mayor and Craig have both mentioned, we have been working in a partnership. Not only has Louisville's open data policy made this possible, but with the ability to get a location inside a building, and that's what the Bluetooth beacon part of this is, in combination with actual maps, which we're storing in a public place so that anyone can use them, not just Nearby Explorer, but any app. You can get these same kind of benefits indoors. So not only does it provide the equivalent of electronic signage so that you can know exactly where you are and what's around you, it also lets you interrogate your environment. So you can pull your phone out.
Amazon 10 minutes ago delivered your package with
Got an Amazon package at home. And you can
women's restroom door 9 yards north, fire door to north corridor, men's restroom door.
So you can
13,
point to the end of the phone.
corridor 10 yard, top of stairs 7 yards south 8.
And you can also point the phone in a different direction and get all
Into
the.
Explorer 3 heading east, entrance to elevator corridor.
And that's all that's that way. But
Heading north, heading northeast, fire.
so you can position the phone in different directions to get either targeted information or a general layout. Now, why is this important? When a blind person walks into a building, you know, you as a sighted person can see the elevators and the escalator and what the general layout is, but as a blind person, you have to discover it either by help with a sighted guide or with a cane or a dog guide. This gives you a heads up to know which direction to start looking in. We've also had some discussions with the mayor's office to possibly put tactile maps at key locations. Then those would work for sighted and blind users. The app right now is oriented towards blind users, but we're making a concerted effort to make it much more visually appealing. so that it'll benefit sighted people as well. And again, the data is all open, so any app can take advantage of this information. We'll be demonstrating the app right after this press release, so be sure and join us. Thank you.
Well, I think you can see the extraordinary partnership that we've developed with the printing house and how this has benefits for people all over the world. So now the key is for us to get the word out to other governments and really for-profit, nonprofit entities so that they can start exploring their beacons, so this can be a world that's much easier to navigate for everyone. And we will be doing that here from this office through the United States Conference of Mayors, and we look forward to this app rolling out even more. So Grace Simrall is our Chief for Civic Innovation. I believe she is the best Chief for Civic Innovation in the entire world. And this is one of the projects that she has worked on to help with. But Grace, if you could close us out with a few words on innovation in this project, we'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We're incredibly proud of this partnership because it shows exactly what happens when innovation and compassion combine together, meaning that compassion is about making this city and the world a far more equitable place, one where everybody's human potential has the opportunity to flourish. And that means everyone. We have projects that are focused on solving things like the digital divide. We have projects focused on economic opportunities. And we have projects like this one that make sure that our built environment, our physical spaces, are accessible to all those, allowing them to independently navigate. So when you look at kind of what we consider the world-class innovation opportunities, it's ones like this that benefit our residents, benefit businesses, benefit public spaces, benefit visitors, and ultimately spread throughout the world as ideas to steal and adopt. So thank you very much.
All right. Any questions about the announcement today? Well, thank you all so much for coming out, and Larry will be demonstrating the app if you want to get a little closer shot of him in action. So thanks, everybody. Happy holidays.